Hello, I'm Josh Hicks for Indiana Court Times, the state's publication for judicial communications. With us today is Elkhart County Circuit Court Judge Michael Christofeno as this 2021 summer issue sidebar judge. So in your sidebar article, you mentioned that you were involved with 4-H. You were a 10-year member, you're a leader of 4-H. Tell me about your own experience in that program and how you're carrying that forward in your 4-H leadership.
Yes, I'm a 10-year 4-H member out of Elkhart County. And what's ironic about all this is when I was a teenager, I often said that I was worried I was going to grow up to be my mother, who was a 4-H leader for 43 years in Elkhart County. And people just laugh now when I say that because I have grown up to be my mother. 4-H is very important to me, as is obvious, because I've donated many hours. I mean, there were times where I donated over 1,000 hours just on the fair side in a year as fair board attorney. 4-H is one of the best, if not the best, educational programs that we have for youth. So when I say that, one of our mottos is make the best better. Another motto we have is learn by doing. So my own experience, people will laugh at this, but I still can name the 50 trees of Indiana from my first year in forestry. I take photographs now and apply everything I learned in the photography project. My wife is gone and I cook all my meals. I was in foods for 10 years. I had a possible state fair entry every year except one, and I went to state fair on foods. I believe it was 3 times, but I also learned life lessons, responsibility, carrying through with what you say you're going to do. I run meetings today and use parliamentary procedure that I learned through 4-H. It teaches a lot of leadership, a lot of responsibility. And what do I get out of it now? Well, I'm passing all of that on to the youth of our community.
You also shared with us a piece of advice for your colleagues. Can you share that with us here and maybe tell us more about what that means to you?
I practiced in front of Gene R. Duffin, who was the judge in circuit court, and he never lost his cool. He always seemed to remain calm and in control of his court. And when I asked him about that one time, he said, well, Michael, remember, I always have the last word. There's no reason for me to get angry. When I took the bench, he said, I'm very happy you're going to carry on the legacy. And I want to remind you what I told you before. Remember, when you take the bench, there's no reason to get angry because you have the last word. So no matter what a litigant says, a self-represented litigant, a sovereign citizen, anybody who's amped up in a divorce, no matter what a litigant says, no matter what a difficult attorney says, there's absolutely no reason for me as a judge to get angry because I get to have the last word and I get to make a ruling, and that ruling should be based on the evidence and applying the law to the evidence, and then I should leave the bench. And again, I have the last word. Getting angry doesn't do me or anybody else any good. And I've passed this advice on to many of my judicial officers.
I would like to thank Judge Christofeno for joining me today for this issue of Court Times. Be sure to check out the full issue in the description below and find more interviews on our channel at the end of this video. Thanks.